Welcome back to Elon Phoenix Weekly. It's just me, Taylor Schmitt, here to hold down the fort for now in the Jane and Brian Williams studio. We have plenty of help here for this very special episode. Today, we are previewing the start of the men's and women's basketball seasons with analysis and interviews from players, coaches, and more. This episode is big because we're also celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the men's and women's basketball teams playing at the Schar Center, with some of our favorite moments from the first year. The Schar Center opened fall of 2018, and with over 160,000 square feet and 5,000 seats, the building has become a perfect space for convocation speakers and other major campus and community events. To cover the largest facility on Elon's campus, we have Javik, Tellier, Lundquist, and Muller reporting from Schar. First, we turn to Tellier. Tellier, where are you instead of hosting here with me?
Yeah, thanks, Taylor. I'm here in the Robert V. Gill room, which is on the mezzanine level of the second-year Schar Center, a room that they use a lot for events for alumni and donors and whatnot. And one of the reasons that we are in here is because of Coach Schrage, our first-year head coach for the men's basketball team. We were in here to talk to him just a little bit ago. And if you don't know about Coach Schrage already, here are 5 facts to know about him. In his time as a coach, in his entire coaching career, he has had the great fortune of coaching with some of the best coaches in history, in Coach Mike Krzyzewski at Duke University and Coach Bob Knight at Indiana University. And those are 2 names that he holds very high in his career and on his resume, and people that he looks up to this day. Now, one of the other cool things about him is that his most recent job was at Ohio State as an assistant coach, and in that position, he helped lead the team to the second round of the NCAA tournament. Now, in his time at Duke, from 1998 to 2002, he was the recruiting and academic coordinator. While there, he helped recruit Jay Williams and Shane Battier to the 2001-2002 team that later went on to win the national championship title. One really cool thing about Coach Schrage is that he has won both the national championship and an NIT championship on his birthday, one thing that he certainly holds over almost every other coach. Now, for the last fact about Coach Schrage, one that's a little funny and quirky about him, he eats Chipotle every single day for lunch, and he may get a lot of grab for it, but he thinks that it keeps him healthy. Now, to learn a lot more about Coach Schrage, I had the great fortune of sitting down with him and learning about his expectations and goals going into this regular season as we approach it. So take a look at what Coach Schrage had to say about this season. Well, Coach Schrage, first off, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Now, multiple times in your career, you've had to adjust to completely new rosters, and every time you go to a new school, you have to get to know these guys. What have you done to know these guys more?
The best time, I wanted the returning players to feel right away that I want to take an interest in them, and not just as players, but as people, and catch up, get to know them, their families, their backgrounds, and I thought we did a really good job myself, and then obviously the staff we hired have invested time with them this spring, summer to kind of build those relationships, build that trust, which is so important before you can really then get on them, the right way on the basketball court, so pivotal. So.
And what specific things have you done to try to enhance those relationships that you have or make the guys closer?
Sure. Spring and summer, I thought individual meetings, certainly time together, going out to eat together when we had the luxury. Went paintballing one time. That was my first time. We had a good time. Special speaking engagements, service projects. We're big into service. That's one of our core values. And this time of the year, once you get to winter, it's tougher to do. You still find gaps and opportunities, but spring, summer, fall should be a chance to really get out in the community and make a difference. So I'd say, going to movies. I remember we went to Lion King. Just opportunities like that to take advantage of the time we had. So.
And what have you noticed that's different from all the schools that you've been at, that compared to Elon? What have you liked about it so far?
You know what? I think it fits so much who I am, where I've been. I see more similarities than differences, I really do. I just love, and I say this quite a bit, but the growth mindset of the school. I mean, I'm lucky to talk to all these alumni groups and people. I say, hey, your degree's always meant a lot, but it's only going up in value because this place just has a growth mindset, keeps pushing and growing. And trust me, I think the other schools I've been at have the same, but Elon is just, it's becoming, it's growing. And the people realize that, and they're pushing. And you're from Seattle. You know, like they're trying to go across the country and internationally to keep exposing what a special place we have here and university we have in Elon.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity to talk to Coach Mike Schrage and hear what he had to say about the season and what he had to hear about the entire career that he's had so far, and we're very lucky to have him here on Elon's campus. Hopefully everyone gets a chance to go check out Elon men's basketball this season and root them on.
Thank you, Tellier. Don't go anywhere just yet, because when we come back, we're sitting down with the men's basketball soft-spoken leader, Chuck Hanna.
I didn't come to Elon to check a box or to fulfill requirements, to study conventionally. I came for the experiential components. I came for the people.
Welcome back to Elon Phoenix Weekly. For those who just tuned into this special episode, we are previewing the men's and women's basketball seasons. With reporters all over Schar Center, I'm now joined by one of those reporters, Javik Blake. Javik, where are you right now?
Thanks so much, Taylor. I'm here at the Schar Center in the concourse where for the first time since 2016, the Elon women's basketball team is not defending CAA conference champions. And with players leaving like Emily Maupin, who transferred to Liberty after leading the Phoenix in scoring last year, some could say that this might be a down year for the Phoenix. They were ranked 8 out of 10 teams in the CAA preseason poll. But with freshmen like Vanessa Taylor, Maya Johnson, and Taylor Sanders coming onto the squad, this could be a year in which the Phoenix make their way back to glory in the CAA conference. But the woman leading them at the helm will be head coach Charlotte Schmitt, and we had a chance to walk 94 feet with her earlier this week. Welcome inside 94 feet from here at Robertson's Court at Schar Center. I'm Javik Blake here with Coach Charlotte Schmitt. Coach, we see the banners behind me for the NCAA tournament. 2017, you guys made the big dance, as well as 2018. What's it going to take for this team to get back to March Madness?
Well, for us to get back to March Madness, it's what I call my blue-collar buy-in. You know, those teams are really good at defense and rebounding, and that's something that we'll have to do to hang another banner.
And now, talking about the team in general this year, what 2 matchups do you have circled as far as the schedule for the season?
Well, the first matchup that I have circled is Wake Forest. We played at Wake Forest a couple of years ago, and we lost by 1 point, so we're looking to redeem ourselves. And then the next matchup I have circled is March 14th. It's just a date, and that happens to be the conference finals.
And that's especially what you want this team to be there. But looking at last year, you guys lost a couple of players, but this new freshman class is really exciting. What excites you the most about them?
Well, we're going to have some exciting inside play with Maya Johnson. You know, I felt like she's done a really good job of coming in and giving us some power in the inside. And Vanessa Taylor from Sweden, she's lightning fast, so you'll enjoy watching her play.
Now, is there a certain player fans should be sort of looking towards as we get the season started?
I think Maya Johnson, our freshman that will start for us at the center position, I think she's going to have an outstanding year this year.
And as far as you personally, you've been around college basketball a long time. If you could pick 2 college coaches, current or former, that you want to have dinner with, who would you choose and why?
Well, I would pick John Wooden. You know, when you read all the things about John Wooden, there's so much positivity and so many awesome things about him. But I would like to sit down and ask him, you know, what were your struggles? What were the failures? What were the things that you really struggled with most intimately?
And now, what would one other coach be?
The other coach would be Pat Summit. She's a coach that I really respect and admire. Coach Hatcher was under her coaching tree, and so she'd be someone that I'd like to sit down and just ask her about how you built a championship program.
You're hoping to try and build a championship program here at Elon. And one of the big things is you've been here for 9 years. You've really seen this team, the rises and the falls. What's been your favorite moment here at Elon?
My favorite moment was winning the second conference championship. You know, it's very difficult to win one championship, but to go back to back, it was pretty incredible. You know, that first championship was a lot of relief, and that second championship was, you know, the feeling of being overjoyed.
Well, the Elon Phoenix try to win conference championship number 3 this season. It all starts right here at the Schar Center. Thank you so much for joining us, Coach. This has been 94 Feet.
Thank you.
Thanks, Javik. Coach Smith has definitely been a mentor to many special players here in her 8 years and 254 games here at Elon. One of those special players is Jada Graves, who last year played only 23 minutes before getting injured in the first game of the season. Luis Muller is standing by with more.
We're here outside the women's basketball locker room at the Schar Center. Jada Graves, a redshirt junior, is the longest tenured player on the basketball team. She suffered an ACL tear last year during the 2018-19 season, causing her to miss the remainder of the year. Her 73 steals, 2.3 swipes per game, and 6.5 points per game were obviously missed by the team. We got a chance to sit down and talk to her about her recovery, preparation for her long-awaited return.
My style of play is very high-paced. I love defense. I love getting stops. I enjoy stopping people more than scoring, if that makes sense. I like to get my teammates involved and just make the best play possible.
Equipped with speed, strength, and quick hands, Jada has been a staple for Elon's defense since her first game, where she led the team with 3 steals. She played in 32 of 33 games her sophomore year, on the way to being a member of the CAA All-Defense Team and CAA Defensive Player of the Year.
Actually, we were in Drexel for the tournament. We were on the bus, and it released on like Twitter, and we was all on the bus looking at the awards and stuff like that. And at first, I only saw that I made the team, and it's like, no, you made Player of the Year, and I'm like, for real? Like, and it just meant a lot. It just made me play even harder in the tournament.
Jada played fantastic that tournament. Coming off the bench, she had 17 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 steals, as the team cut down the net and secured a spot in the NCAA tournament. It was the team's 2nd straight CAA championship, but as Jada and the Phoenix were going for their 3rd, plans changed in the 33rd minute of their first game of the 2018-2019 season.
First game, I thought we were playing really well. Despite the score, we looked really good, and I saw the potential that we was going to have for the season. In the 4th quarter, I just attacked the basket, and I jump stopped really weird, and I felt something in my knee didn't feel right, and I just went down, and I was hollering because I was more scared than nervous because I've never had like a real leg injury or like a severe injury. So I just, when I felt something that wasn't right, I had more of a panic attack than more of a injury. The night of, I was like really sad. I just had positive, my friends around me were trying to tell me to remain positive because I didn't know the results yet. I just knew it wasn't right. My knee was swollen. So Coach Schmitt was really a great support system. She checked on me all the time, make sure I was good. She never made me feel excluded. She made me feel like I was a part of the team even though I wasn't playing. Last year, she even nominated me captain during the season while I was injured, so she realized like I was contributing even though I wasn't on the court. And she's just a positive person. Like, she always finds the light in the dark. Like, she can find anything positive out of a negative situation. So she was like really positive and supportive.
Women's basketball head coach Charlotte Smith knew it would be tough as well, but she recognized the toughness of the one she chose to be team captain.
Jada's recovery from her torn ACL, well, first of all, it was a devastating break for us because Jada is our leader in terms of defense. It was a role that she bought into her sophomore year and became Defensive Player of the Year. And she was having such a tremendous game here in the Schar Center against Carolina. So, I thought she was going to have an incredible year. So to suffer that ACL, was a setback for us as a program and for her personally. And she's recovered, very well. The biggest thing in terms of recovering from an ACL is making sure that you stay engaged with the team and staying positive, and she did that throughout the year. And she could lean on Ariana Nance, who had also torn her ACL, to learn the ropes in terms of recovery. But she stayed positive. She worked really hard in terms of her physical therapy, and my role was just to encourage her and to help her mentally overcome the hurdle of the ACL. And so we had great conversations, and she's doing tremendously well, back to her old defensive ways, and just a spark for us defensively and a great leader for us. So we're excited to have her back this season.
Jada's excited to be back as well, but mostly because she knows that the road back for her wasn't easy.
After surgery, it was so painful. Like, it hurt to even go to the bathroom. Like, it was just really painful. Once the swelling went down, I had to focus on leg extension because your leg don't fully extend, getting the leg bending rotation back. And then once you get through that, you have to learn you have to ride the bike because you can't really run. So riding the bike is going to play a big role in your conditioning. After that, riding the bike, I went from jogging and just taking baby steps, and while just strengthening the knee all at one time. It was tough. Learn how to walk again, learn how to jog, run. And it was kind of painful at the beginning, but it's still painful to this day. Like, it has their days where my leg is just not feeling it, but just pushing through and just keep strengthening it. I practice every day with my team now. We just played in a close scrimmage the other day, and I played in it. So the coach is not just going to jump me out there and have me just play in the first game. Like, I'm building up, I'm preparing for it. So when I step on the court, just know I'm ready to step on the court. They're not just throwing me out there like in the deep end and leaving me to stranded. I'm going to be really prepared, really excited to be back on my team.
Thank you, Louise. Jada has had quite the journey, and as the only 4-year player on the team, we will watch her and the rest of the team continue to grow and develop all year. We'll be right back, but coming up later this episode, we highlight some of our men's and women's top plays from the Schar Center last year.
At Elon, you can create your own opportunity.
We come with so much potential, and we come with so much desire.
And we can compete on any level, no matter the stage. And that's something that's pretty special.
Welcome back to Elon Phoenix Weekly. As we continue to cover the preparation for the start of the men's basketball season, we go back to Tellier, who I'm convinced would rather be at the Schar Center than here hosting with me. Tellier, what else do you have to say?
Well, thanks again, Taylor. And we're back in the Robert V. Gill room here at Schar Center to talk a little bit about Chuck Hanna, who is a sophomore forward on the team. And one thing that every new coach comes into is a roster of guys that he doesn't really know. And one of those players that has been on the team before is Chuck Hanna, as he is going into his second season on the team. And Chuck Hanna has been a huge leader. As you may not know, if you see him around campus, he's a very soft-spoken and quiet guy, but on the court, he is a very vocal leader. So we talked to him about his expectations and goals for the season, as well as how he gets along with the teammates and the fresh faces on the Elon Phoenix basketball team. All right, Chuck, first off, thanks for joining us. So you're in your second season now here at Elon, second year academically too. What have you noticed really in terms of basketball and differences from last year into this year?
Just the freedom to play. I feel like with me especially, I'm able to kind of like play a little more free and have more options because Coach Schar trusts us a lot on offense. Like he always preaches that we're going to score enough points, but it's really just us defensively in terms of like how we're going to be able to compete night in and night out. That's going to determine wins and losses. But offensively, I've enjoyed it a lot. Like there's no sort of like structure. It's not like a robotic sort of like set a screen, do this, do that. It's more like just play off of each other. And I think that one builds a lot of team chemistry on the court and also builds us off the court, just being able to like know what certain guys do and have those conversations and figuring out what we like and what we don't like.
And what has been the biggest difference that you've seen from last year into how Coach Schar is building this team up?
I think team chemistry is a big deal for us, especially with how much time we've been spending. So from doing football tailgates to eating dinner at Coach's house, just a lot of spending time together because we have a lot of different personalities, a lot of fresh faces. So, I mean, we joke around being like, for example, like Zach, who's from Gate City, Virginia, which is like the country, and Woods is from California, which is a big city. Those two meshing is something from a commonality, like I don't know how they do it, but when you're spending so much time together, you start to like get those team bonds and everything going on. So I consider all these guys like basically family to me, and the way that we've been bonding and spending a lot of time together, it really feels like a family atmosphere. And a lot of people say that, but not a lot of people practice it. And we've been practicing it, and we've been constantly around each other, just trying to get to know each other a little bit more and more every day. And I think it's going a long way because I definitely feel like I have a connection with every single guy on the team.
Well, we certainly look forward to seeing Chuck Hanna on the floor for the Phoenix this year. And your first opportunity is on November 5th right here in Schar Center when they take on Mars Hill to start off the regular season. So make sure you get here and watch the Phoenix with Chuck Hanna, Coach Schrage, and everyone else and root them on all year long.
Thanks, Tellier. With 4 of Elon's top 5 scorers graduating, it will fall on players like Chuck Hanna to lead this young team. Here to give us more insight on the rest of the team, I am joined by Owen Gunn. Owen, who are some fresh faces we can expect to make a difference this team for the Phoenix?
Well, Taylor, you've got to start with Marcus Sheffield. He's a graduate player coming in from Stanford University, and with a team without any seniors on it, they're going to rely on his leadership. And if you want to talk about making a difference, he's also shooting 86.4% from the free throw line. That's going to help with their offense. Another guy to look out for is Zach Irvin. He's a freshman. He was kind of like the big fish in the recruiting process for Elon, received over 30 D1 offers. Elon got him, and he's averaging about 32 points per game in high school, led his team to the state tournament 4 straight seasons, so definitely going to make a difference as well.
Well, Elon has a tough schedule this year, but what games are you looking forward to on the calendar?
Well, I am fired up for Mars Hill Lions coming to town on November 5th, the Schar Center home opener. It's going to be a thriller for us Elon students to pack the Schar Center. It's going to be a fun one. Another one has to be the CAA home opener against William and Mary. William and Mary just finished 3 spots ahead of us last year, so it's going to be a competitive game, but the home opener, it'll be exciting.
Now, the polls kind of put us down this year, but Coach Stroggy and the team is looking for some big things this year. What are some things that we can do to defy those expectations set earlier this year?
Well, I think we got to tighten things up defensively a little bit. We were averaging 76.4 points against per game. So if we clean things up defensively, I definitely could see a lot of improvements. We're also turning the ball over 414 times last year, so clean that up a little bit, and Elon will be a much better team this year.
Well, thank you, Owen. When we come back, we show the top plays from Schar last year, and we go beyond borders to talk about one of the biggest basketball stories of the year. Stay tuned.
I didn't come to Elon to check a box or to fulfill requirements to study conventionally. I came for the experiential components. I came for the people.
Welcome back to Elon Phoenix Weekly. The Schar Center, off the court, has been the spot for President Buck's inauguration, the Harlem Globetrotters, Sean Kingston, and Jesse McCartney. On the court, Schar has seen just as much action. Here are some of the best moments from Schar's first year of being open.
From deep. Yes! Powell from the corner. Yes, the answer!
Mercer gonna shoot from the top of the key. Yes!
Moving out of Schar, there's a lot going on now in the professional world of basketball. The NBA was looking to internationally expand to China, where basketball is the most popular youth sport and the NBA is the most popular sports league. And if that doesn't scream big market, then I don't know what does. Unfortunately, China is in the midst of a political battle, and the Houston Rockets GM got caught in the middle of a sticky situation when he posted a tweet saying that he supports the Hong Kong protests against the Chinese government. I'm here with Emmanuel Tobe to talk about what this could mean for the league. Now keep in mind, these are our personal opinions on the issue, and they do not reflect the views of Elon Phoenix Weekly and Elon University as a whole. With that said, Emmanuel, what part of this stands out most to you?
For me, the biggest part that stands out is the timing. And I guess sometimes with messages, it's not about what you say, it's when and how you say it. And, you know, it's looking at the timing of this whole thing, this year was really the peak of the NBA trying to expand into China and capitalize on the market. I mean, Tencent Broadcasting Company, one of China's largest broadcasting companies, just signed a $1.5 billion extension to display NBA games up until 2025 in July. You know, 6 days after Daryl Morey's comments, the Lakers and Nets were supposed to play in China. So, you know, it's for this situation, the timing of it was, you know, I'm actually torn as a person because it was bad timing, but at the same time, you know, it's tough to really put whether it's good or bad time to talk about how people should be treated and to talk about, issues. I don't, it's tough to really say, okay, this isn't a good time to talk about how people should feel or should talk about issues, because this is something that's impacting a lot of people.
Yeah, and along with the timing, you talk about broadcasting rights. This affects so many other teams, not just the Houston Rockets. Like, when the Houston Rockets play another team, it affects their reputation in China. Like, these teams want to get out and make their brand known in China, but this is punishing the other teams, and this is punishing the players after something that their GM did. You don't go to the games to watch the GM of the Houston Rockets play. No, you go to watch the players and the team perform. I understand it's part of a larger organization, but you have to understand, like, the players are the ones that you're watching.
Mm-hmm. But unfortunately,
but they represent the brand,
yeah,
which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that's kind of the important thing about it, is recognizing the brand. And you do see a lot in like large companies when the CEO will say something, or someone else will, a face of the company will say something, and it's everyone gets impacted all the way to the bottom. So I think this is one of those examples, whether it was the right or wrong thing to say, it does impact a lot of people, and we're seeing that with all of the Houston Rockets games being pulled from Chinese broadcasts.
And you saw the NHL is looking to expand in China, because in 2022, the Beijing Winter Olympics are coming to China. So right now, this is prime time for the NHL to move in and make their brand recognized, as well as the NBA. But I mean, the NHL probably won't make their brand as highly notable as the NBA, because it's hockey in China and the NBA is the most popular sport. But the NHL is giving opportunities to make sponsorships and drive in revenue before this 2022 Beijing Olympic tournament that they're going to be in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the NHL is doing the right thing here. Just keep pushing, keep going. They think they can keep pushing, doing the right thing, and they think the NBA just made their own mistake.
Yeah, well, I think it's tough to kind of say what's the right thing to do, because I think it's more about what the brand or what the business wants to value. So I think it's tough to really go into what's the right thing. But you're right when you look at the market in China. I mean, just from the NBA standpoint, according to CNBC, 640 million people in China watched at least one NBA game last year.
Aside from the whole market thing and being focused on value and money, something that America as a whole has been so focused on is sports is a unification factor. So I think what America is trying to do, and the NBA is trying to find a commonality between these people and find something to bring them together on. Maybe take away from the political tensions and make it easier and make it kind of go away or settle down a little bit by finding that common ground between the two. I do agree that the market is a big part of it, and I think that that's why the NBA is staying there, because it's so popular. That's a great money market. Mm-hmm. But I think it is trying to implore on the people, this is unification. Sports is something that we can all bond over.
Mm-hmm. And you talked about American people, this is something that a lot of people have been reacting to. What reaction has kind of surprised you the most?
I would have to say, Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA. Mm-hmm. Just, he was like, it wasn't our calling, or he's like, we're still going to keep pursuing this. And I just think that the NBA at its core is a business. It's all about making money, and that's what they're really trying to do. So that's what he was trying to say was, we're still going to keep pursuing this because we want to make money. We are a business. That is our primary goal in this. So that just kind of shocked me to see, it seems like they're in it for money. That's what really shocked me, instead of other ideas.
Yeah, and it is so tough because, as you said, the NBA is a business, and China is such a big place for the business, as well as for the business to grow as well. There are over 300 million people in China play basketball. Like you said, it's the most popular sport there. So there is room to grow and to expand in China as a business. But again, it's such a tough thing. Yeah. But that's what makes it such an interesting story.
It does. Well, thank you, Emmanuel, for being here with me today. If you missed anything or want to see any packages again, check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Elon Phoenix Weekly. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram to see our other segments and behind the scenes. Head to elonphoenix.com to learn more about upcoming games and exciting successes for Elon Athletics. And don't forget to tune in next time for another exciting episode of Elon Phoenix Weekly. On behalf of our producers and crew here at the show, we hope you have a great weekend.